بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
So now we're going to talk about soil. Why are we talking about soil? How did we get there? Where soil come from? Because if we back up, you remember here our topic, the instruments of purification. So we talked about water, which is the main instrument for purification. That's why it had so many details. And all those details about water. Just like water, haram water, small amount used in an obligation, etc., najasa, changing. Now we said everything we want to say about water. Are there any other instruments for purification? Yes. Soil is purifying, and it's a purifier for removal of dog and pig filth and performing tayammum. So soil, yes, soil is another means for purification. Much less details. Soil, then, tell me a number, please. Soil is used in how many cases of purification? Soil is used in how many cases? Two. Two. One is tayammum. Two is removing dog and pig filth. You don't use soil for wudu or ghusl. You don't use soil for wudu or ghusl. You use water for wudu and ghusl. And when you don't have water, then you can't make wudu or ghusl. Then you need to make tayammum with soil. So soil is purifying for two things. Let's put the number there then. Two things. Soil is purifying for two things. Removal of dog and pig filth, that's one. And performing tayammum. Both of those, they have their own chapters. So we're not going to talk about them now. When we talk about najasa, then we'll talk about how to remove dog and pig filth. And when we get to the chapter of tayammum, we'll talk about the rules of tayammum. And now we're just talking about the instruments for purification. You can use this soil when it's not used or contaminated, like water. Like when we talked about water. So if you understood what we said in the chapters of water, you should understand that statement. Used, how would soil be used? Like you used it for tayammum. Just like if you used water for wudu or you used water for ghusl, you used it. Now it lost its purifying power. Same thing for the soil. You use soil for tayammum, so you can't turn around and use it again for purification, for the removal of dog or pig filth. You can't say, let me get that soil that I used for tayammum to remove this dog and pig filth. It's used soil now, just like used water. And you can't say, let me get that soil you used for tayammum so I can use it for tayammum. It's used soil, so it won't work. And above the issue of the dog filth, tayammum requires that the soil be unmixed with something granular like ashes. Yani, tayammum, we're saying soil, you're going to use soil for removing dog najas. And for tayammum, yes. It has to be unused in both cases, yes. Everything the same? No. Actually, tayammum has a detail, has a case, yani, has an issue we want to watch out for, which is when it comes to tayammum, your soil has to be unmixed with something granular, like ashes. Granular means basically it's like soil, small particles, grains, like grains of soil, grains of sand, grains of ashes, grains of powder, for example, baby powder. Anything that's like that, it cannot be mixed in your soil when you're making tayammum. So that reminds you of what? Reminds you of having changed water. Something's in your water. Reminds you of that. Here, your soil, you cannot have something granular in it. Why? Because when you wipe that soil over your face, when you wipe that soil over your hands, soil is not like water. Water flows and soil does not flow. So if your water had something in it, some stuff in it, but it's still water, then you're good because water flows. But soil, it doesn't flow. So if it has something granular in it, something that is itself as fine as soil is, then when you wipe it over your over your organ, there's a possibility that just even one grain of that, one of those foreign grains stuck to your skin and blocked soil from getting to your skin. One little grain. So that's why you can't have something granular in your soil for tayammum. For dog najis, it's okay if something was in the soil because you're going to put the soil in the water, and then it's okay. You might have something in your water. It's okay here. It's not an issue here as long as it doesn't change the water. Question: you said, just to clarify, if you've put soil in a cup with water to remove filth, the soil that didn't leave the cup is considered used? No. The soil that left the cup and went over the najasa, the soil that went over the najasa, that's the used soil. That's clear? Just like for your purification, when you put the water on the organ, once that water falls off the organ, then it's used. Or you poured water over the najasa. Once that water flowed off of the najasa, then it's used. Soil is like that. Once you put that soil, once it falls off, when you make tayammum, once it crumbles, it falls off of your organs, whatever falls off is used. Or what you use to clean the dog or pig najasa. Once it goes over that najasa, it's used. And our next case is transformation. But let's not read transformation now and we want to talk about tanning and we want to talk about making vinegar from wine. So let's save those cases of transformation for next week so we don't have to break them. Question: yes.